Classen, and you are watching From the Cape with Bass, hosted by Daniel Peterson.
Good day, everybody. Today we are with great bass player Daryl Classen. Daryl, can you tell us what your first musical experience was?
Okay, my first musical experience, that was something that was stuck to my head a very long time. When I was a young child, I remember, I think around about 4, 5 years old, going to church with my parents, and after church the band used to play like a jam. When the church service was finished, they used to play a jam. And now there's this one jam they used to play called a song by George Benson, Reason.
Okay.
And going home, picking up the guitar after church, walking home with my parents, picking up the guitar, and I arrived home, trying to play this song on the guitar. I don't know, I didn't have any musical experience at that time, but I was basically trying to play the notes on the guitar, and
so the melody basically.
The melody of that track, and that was something interesting. As the years went on, I realized that it came to my mind, and that was something interesting to me, that as a child already, I have that idea of listening, going home, and try to play something by ear as a child already, and to me that was something really interesting, and that thing I think was my first musical experience.
Daryl, can you tell me why you chose the bass guitar?
Okay, the bass guitar, I used to play I used to play drums in church, but before that, my dad used to play drums, and me and my brother, we used to sit next to him and watch him playing, and like I think over the years, automatically, without even training ourselves to play, we could already play just by watching him.
Wow.
And that is where he said, okay, I was about 9 years old, he said, okay, start playing drums in church. And not long after that, I think about a year, my brother started playing, and he started playing better than me.
Wow.
And then there was no bass player at the time. Then my dad started playing the guitar, and the keyboard player, there was like a broken bass. I think the neck and the body was apart or something.
Okay.
And then the keyboard player took that bass, and I think he glued it together, and some old strings on, and the strings was basically so high, really high from the neck.
Okay.
But that was my first bass guitar I basically played, and he painted this. He took like normal wall paint and he painted it red. I think it was a red bass. But I played that bass maybe for 3 years with that string so high. I couldn't like when we play the normal choruses and stuff in church, I used to check the notes of the chords by my dad on the guitar. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew the notes. But I never played guitar. But I knew, okay, that's a C, that's a G.
Okay.
Or, and that is how I trained myself. If you play a wrong note, I will also play a wrong note.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. So that is how I trained myself. And over the years, I started to, just to become better and better by practicing and so. But that is how I started. The bass guitar basically, I would say, came to me, but when I started playing that guitar, although it was an old guitar, I still love the feeling of it. I just stuck to it ever since that time.
Daryl, can you tell me about your musical education?
Okay, musical education, I do have a little bit. I wouldn't say I don't have any musical education on bass guitar, because I'm self-taught on bass. No, but I have some. Luckily, I joined the army, the military, 2007 till 2008, and luckily when I got there, I joined the band, and I studied at Stellenbosch University, saxophone basically. And I got a grade 6 Trinity certificate there, and UNISA, I studied theory grade 4 through UNISA, and that is basically my bass. But bass guitar, well, the only course or lesson I got basically was, I think about if it's 2002 or 3, around about that time.
Okay.
And I was still in school, and they had this workshop at the Artscape Theatre where they had like really good guys I respected, still respect them even at that time, like Daryl and Eddie Joyster was the bass lecturer at that time. And I think I can't remember the other guys it was there, but think about it, Eddie Joyster was the only bass player that gave me some basic lessons at that time, and that was like, if I can say the basics, was like the know how to play your
fretboard.
Yeah, you know your fretboard. I mean like your major scale, your positioning of your fingers and all of that stuff. You know your fingering, your degrees and that. When he taught me that, I took that and I made that. I tried to make that foundation a very strong foundation. I always, even today when I play, I always think about that day. You know, when I was taught. Yeah, that is basically the only musical experience of education over these years, you know, and by learning from other musos, being friends with very good musicians and stuff, you know. Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Can you tell me about the albums, if you've worked on albums, can you tell me about that, and also the artists, the bands that you've worked for?
Okay, at the moment, I haven't worked on any album yet, and but currently I'm busy, or myself with our band, busy of working on an album.
Okay.
And we are very serious about this album. We've been together now for more than a year now. I haven't done any gigs or anything, but we are just concentrating on doing a good album.
Okay.
And so with very good position with my brother, Classen and Elton, I don't know his surname, Bampuri, he's from Zimbabwe.
Bampuri.
Yeah, I think Zimbabwean. And another guy, Matt, another brilliant guitarist and also a very good producer. So we are working on a very good album, and we're not in a rush for anything, because I think just to be patient with music, you can get the best out of it.
There we go.
You know, and yeah, and the mindsets all, when we started jamming together, we just connected.
Wow.
And we just, I don't know, the energy was just the same, you know, and that is the guys you also want to work with, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Can you tell me about the gear that you have?
Okay, the gear, this is not my bass, this is a friend of mine. Mine is basically by him, my bass mechanic, if I should say it like that. Yeah, fixing my electronics and stuff, but this is his bass. I'm using a Squire, Fender jazz bass, 5-string, that's a 70, vintage, moderated, how can I say modern? Yeah, bass that I'm using, but that bass, that is my baby. I don't think I will ever sell that bass. So, but this is a Ibanez sound here, and this is also a very nice bass. The sound, the tone of this sound gear is always something good to use, you know, to play with.
Well, interesting, man. Tell me, do you have any advice out there for any young musician coming up or bass player?
Advice for young musicians out there, just to always, you know, stay humble, and when you start playing bass, and you start seeing that you are becoming a very good bass player, you know, and then sometimes you have that idea of you think you are better than that person. Now you don't want to speak to that one or speak to that one. You see, you should always just stay the same person, always, and try to become a better person, you know, and that will also make you a better bass player. Try to become a better person, you know, not by other materialistic things, you know, but just to love yourself, you know, and be conscious about things, you know. And if you can love yourself, it will be easy for you to love another person, you know, if you're conscious about loving yourself. So I think that is the best thing to become a very good musician is by loving yourself first, because when you play this instrument, it's not by playing the notes or all of the licks and all of that stuff, you know. If you can have space in between, if the groove is so solid, and you don't even need to put any licks in between, because the spacing in between is so powerful. It don't even allow you to put any licks there, because the notes you are playing is coming from your soul, you know. So the next person will feel that without being distracted from any other, you know, stuff being played in between. So just to stay humble and stay keep it simple as possible, and try to find yourself to become a very good human being.
Okay. Daryl, thank you so much for making time for me, for making time for From the Cape with Bass. Godspeed on your journey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for liking and sharing this video with your fellow bass community. Please follow From the Cape with Bass on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. Thank you so much.